Hello. So, the discussion today is about permission to feel. And this comes up actually from a conversation I was having last night and this morning on Facebook about, well, it started with quoting my sweetheart with the following. It is human nature to love everything. And this brought up a question that we were discussing about, well, what does that really mean to love everything? Does that mean that you're supposed to feel love all the time? And this was actually something that I struggled with for many years in my spiritual journey, because the first part of my spiritual journey, and I think this is common, was largely intellectual. I was trying to understand, what does this mean to strive to walk in divine love on a daily basis, and to strive to be better and not fall into the mental emotional dynamics of the ego. So, in other words, like, not to feel bad, not to feel angry, not to feel like I need something, like I'm lacking and trying to manipulate someone else to get what I need. I was trying to throw those things in the garbage and to emulate, walk in a Christ-like fashion. And just trying to understand this intellectually led me to a place of shoulds. So I honestly, I think I was in a place of shoulds before I attempted the spiritual walk. And I just came with that method of shoulding myself to be what I thought I had to be in order to be lovable in my own eyes, or lovable in someone else's eyes. I just transferred that to, oh, the spiritual way is the way that I can get love and be loved and be lovable to myself. Hi, Nina, and glad to have you here. So, yeah, um, it led to quite a ruckus, actually, inside me over time. I think that I was probably shooting myself to be spiritually strong, stronger than I actually was, and not allowing myself to feel my emotions, probably for a good decade before there was a rebellion in me, where I was tired of having two voices. The voice of how I'm feeling. I feel like I need love. I feel like I need codependency, whatever it was that that's kind of really what I was looking for. Was I need someone to make me feel like I am loved. But then my intellect was saying, no, no, you know that you are loved because you're a child of God, so you don't need love. But emotionally, I need love. So I had these two voices, and I kept shushing the emotional voice and putting it in the closet, stuffing it in the closet, and saying, "You don't belong here." And so at a certain point, that emotional voice said, "Hey, Terry." At a certain point, that emotional voice said, to the intellectual voice, "What have you ever done for me? Like, you loudmouth, you keep telling me the way I should be, but meanwhile, my emotional wounds are not healing." And I was feeling like, oh my God, I just want one voice in my head. I don't care if that voice is dark and egotistical and everything that I'm trying not to be. I just want to be honestly myself. I just want one voice in my head that is my authentic voice. And I shut my intellectual voice up completely. And I went on this uh, voyage, this journey of actually just going with my emotional impulses. And but I took with me an understanding of the psychology, the spiritual psychology. That's the foundation of what I help people with. And I let myself go for that emotional journey, and I just kept my eyes open. So I was just observing observing what I'm feeling, what I want. Okay, what I'm feeling, what I want. How does this feel? What do I want? How does this feel? What do I want? And I went down this dark spiral. But when I got to the bottom, I authentically wanted to connect with divine love again. And so I discovered that my intellect had been afraid of my darkness, my emotional inclinations that were not behaving according to the rule book. But when I shut my intellect up and I went with those emotional inclinations, I discovered the truth of myself, that I can trust myself, that I actually do genuinely want to be, or genuinely am, a creature of love. And so that was a huge turning point, because that was a place where I discovered that it's okay to feel my feelings. And my journey, it took me a little longer to discover how to feel them in a really healthy way. But I discovered that emotions are actually messengers, and their messages are really essential pieces of information that we need for our growth. So when we shut them in the closet, we're stymieing our growth. But when we can listen to them as honored guests and receive the message that they have for us, then we can grow and blossom in this gentle and beautiful way. And the other thing that this brings to mind, which was also part of the conversation, is what is the true nature of the human being? Again, this quote was, "It is human nature to love everything." Or did I even say the quote in the beginning? I don't think I did. It is human nature to love everything. And what does that mean, right? So it doesn't mean that you have to feel love all the time. You feel what's honest, and you let yourself acknowledge honestly what you're feeling. But what I discovered by letting myself feel my feelings was that my true nature is love. That's what I'm most honestly attracted to when I sort out everything that I'm feeling. That's how I want to walk. That's my true nature. And that's an important thing to, what do you feel like is the true nature of the human being? This is important because our true nature is whatever you feel that is like the maximum that you believe that you can achieve. So it's going to affect the questions that you ask. So if someone believes that the true nature of the human being is an animal that's trying to survive, then when they get into an argument with their partner, or a breakup, or some kind of a relationship thing, are they trying to walk as love? Or are they okay with, do they believe that the highest expression of the human being is to look out for your own needs and just kind of bargain things out in relationship? It's not a connection that we often make, but it's there, and it's fundamental. So this is why I'm always standing in the space of holding the vision for our inner connection with divine love and our nature as love, because that has a really deep influence on how we show up in our relationship, the kinds of questions that we ask ourselves about how we want to show up in our relationship, and also the questions we ask about our partner and how are they showing up in the relationship. So we can ask the healthiest and kind of edgiest questions, the questions that will drive us towards the highest possible experience when we do actually aspire to love. However, aspiring to embody love, to walk in love, doesn't mean that we're not allowed to feel the dark feelings, that we're not allowed to feel our anger. It's essential that if we're angry, we feel our anger, and we listen our anger, and we listen to that emotion for the message that it has for us. Because we all of this is the big package, the big complex package of what it is to be human. And every part of it is beautiful and important to our growth and our path towards discovering how to actually experience our true nature. as love. So those are my thoughts for the day. I would love to hear your thoughts. And so, yeah, share them in the comments, or you can DM me if you want to share them privately. And have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much.